Right here, I'm just going to invite you to settle into this moment, putting all of our fun conversation behind, turning within, connecting to that place within. That is the only place. That is the one place. It is your heart. It is my heart. It is the one heart connecting all of us across this planet. But there is only one. And in this moment, in this gathering today, as we listen to Jody and we share, we know that we are all connected through this one heart, this one divine consciousness, this infinite love. And we sit in this space of openness and receiving, knowing that the message from Jody is beautiful, it is perfect, it is divinely guided and blessed, and it is just what each of one of us needs to hear. So I'm grateful for this opportunity for all of us to be together, to listen, to share, to come together in this one heart, one mind, one presence right here, right now. We release and let go, knowing all is well. We are blessed, and so it is.
Thank you, dear La. You're such a beautiful prayer. So welcome, everyone. And I just want to acknowledge what a rough and tough couple of weeks America has had. So I want to light this candle. Hang on. Okay. Yeah, I want to light this candle in honor. So I got a teal candle yesterday because teal is the color of healing. It's the only color that looks good on everyone. So, and when we all get together, we will have this candle. I will make sure it's there with us. I think of this as the CSL Boulder Valley candle of healing. Because not only are we about revealing the truth, we are about healing where there's hurt. So I light this candle in honor of all of the people in the last 2 weeks who have been horrifically shot and killed. We know that their flame of life continues, and that America's sweet soul that is hurting so much right now is soothed in the oneness of the divine. We bless the families. We bless all the people, the communities. We send our love. And we also acknowledge the gunmen, those that were hurting so much, because we know we are all one. And so in the spirit of unconditional love, we give thanks for our community. It is said in Buddhism that if you really want to experience God, you become involved in a community. And what a beautiful community the Center for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley is. And so we light this candle, reminding ourselves and sending love all over the world. And together we say, and so it is. So I would love not to have to do this, not that we have to, but I just want to acknowledge that there's been so much pain in America right now. And for some reason, these last 2 shootings have really gotten into my DNA. It has been so difficult for me, and I know I'm not alone. Not that all the other ones haven't been terrible either, but so in the last 2 weeks, 10 people in a grocery store experienced a racist attack, and 21 people this week in Texas, 19 of them children, were killed. Over 200 people since the first one, which is Columbine. How many of you remember that so vividly? So vividly. I was living in Portland and I was glued to the television. I was shocked. My youngest, turning 40 next month, was a senior in high school. And I said, you can't go to school. And he went, oh, nothing is going to keep me from going to school. America has a reputation. I got to tell you, it ain't pretty. So all of these shootings, this is not a political problem. This is not a gun control problem. It's not a mental health problem. It's not a community problem. It is not a racial problem. It is multidimensional. And you and I have some opportunities as science and minders to help. It is a cultural, multi-dimensional problem. And we can all chat about this and that, and oh my God, don't we all do that? But we need to look at, what's my part in this? What is my part in this? So I just want you to know that the Center for Spiritual Living is going to set up information, and it will be in the newsletter, to give names and places of organizations for you to send money to Texas and to New York. These communities don't have the resources that a lot of the communities do. So I don't care if it's 75 cents. If you can send something, please do so. We'll have that up in the newsletter. And also, we as an organization will be giving to an organization called One Tree Planted. And for every person that was shot and killed in the last 2 weeks, and I think there's 28, we will be buying a tree, and then they will go and plant it. So we will be giving to that. Oh, we will be buying 31 trees. That's what I have here. 31 trees in honor of the 31 people who have been shot and killed. So the question is, as science minders, what can you and I do to help heal and change the consciousness of all of this? What can you and I do in our own individual space? And there's only one thing we can do. That's how simple it is. There's only one thing we can do. And that is to fall madly, completely, totally, swooningly in love. We need to fall in love. And what are we falling in love with? We're falling in love with the divine. We need to fall madly, completely, totally, swooningly in love with the divine. So here's the truth. As religious scientists, you and I believe in the omnipresence of God. We believe that God is everywhere present. That's one of the principles of science and mind. Dr. Ernest Holmes writes, I love this one. We believe in God, the living spirit almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. The one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. We get to fall madly in love with the divine. This is a big gulp. It's a big gulp, and it has far-reaching implications. First of all, it relates to all the major religions in the world. Ernest Holmes clarifies this statement in What Religious Science Teaches. He says, the sacred books of all people declare that God is one, a unity from which nothing can be excluded and to which nothing can be added. God is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. Just take a deep breath with that. God is everywhere. And sometimes you and I are in the middle of experiences and we don't get to know and understand the mystery, but we do get to remember that God is everywhere. So there's 3 basic steps that I would recommend we do. The first one is to courageously claim our own good. What is it that you want? No, I mean, really want in your life. what are your struggles and what's the reason you're continuing on with your struggles? Why would we do that if we really believe that spirit is moving through us, as us, in us, and all around it? What would bring you the greatest joy in your life? I happen to believe that God is that joy is the highest level of God. Peace and joy, but joy, just a little bit, just some of you might believe peace, but that's okay. Peace and joy, but joy, what is it that would bring you joy? For so many times, I've been a counselor now for 40 years. I've asked people, what would bring you joy in your life? And they'll just look at me. What would it mean if you gave up the struggle so that you could have more joy in your life? And I'll tell you, the one place that so many people struggle is with money. It's been one of my spiritual practices to transform my beliefs. We don't need to struggle. We live in a lavishly abundant universe. So I was talking to someone, I think it was about 2 years ago, and they asked me a question that I have thought about so much. I was telling them that I had been in the human happiness profession for over 35 years, 40 years now. And they asked me the question, what surprises you the most about humanity? Oh, wow. And my answer at the time would be the same answer that I give today. And that is, so many people have said, I don't have time or energy to do a daily spiritual practice. I don't have time. And my comment always to them is, so you don't have 2 to 3 minutes a day to hang out with the source of your being. Hopefully I say that lovingly. Maybe not. Sometimes I get, come on, do it. 3 minutes a day. What do you want? What do you want? What's the mental equivalent of what you want? And here's another question I have for all of us, because you're going to be asked this in the next month or two. What do you want for the Center for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley? What do you want? Because some pretty exciting things are happening. The second thing we need to do, and I want to give this a little drum roll, and I say this with the greatest of love and respect, but we need to heal with our mother and our father. We need to heal our issues. We just need to do it. There are so many modalities out there, and I am more than willing to be available for anybody who is struggling with a mother or with a father. If you need any help at all, again, you and I, when we heal those issues, we uplift the consciousness of humanity. I was talking to my oldest son 2 days ago, and I am so proud of him because I wasn't sure he was going to get through his 30s. He has struggled so much with so many generations of addictions and compulsions. Certainly I have had them. And I am so proud of what he's doing now. And it's not easy. But I'll tell you, I do believe that every mother and every father, at the depth of our soul, we want our highest and greatest good for our kids. Now, if we were in person, and we're not, so I'll ask this anyway, but I would ask this: how many of you have ever screwed up? For those of you who have children, how many of you have ever made a mistake? Of course. And I said to my son again, I am so sorry for what I didn't know at the time that I did this or that influenced you. I am so sorry. And he's done that with his son. And at some point, we have to stop, because I'll tell you, every gunman that has shown up in America since for 20 years is so angry with their family system. It's the one thing that comes out. These young kids, what, 18 to 20, those are the that's the profile of the gunman, you and I can change it all by doing our own work. And let me tell you, it's not fun. The third thing, y'all know me, I shout this from the mountaintop. We live in gratitude. If you want to have more joy in your life, and if you want to feel good about mom and dad and all their dysfunctions, and you live in gratitude. I am so grateful for the incredibly difficult childhood I was raised in. I wouldn't be here today. I am so grateful for each one of you. I am so grateful for this candle. I'm so grateful that I have this cup. Live in gratitude for everything in your life. John Kennedy once wrote, as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter the words, but to live by them. Those of us who are on the spiritual path have been, I'm sure, criticized, misunderstood, and yet we must continue. We must continue to express our knowledge and our wisdom and our absolute knowing that the divine lives in and through and all around us. So do the healing work, take the time daily, hang out with the source of your being. Paramahansa Yogananda used to say that if you're on the spiritual path, you've burned off a lot of karma, negative karma. And we're called to do that every day, every single day, 2 to 3 minutes a day. Write out an affirmation, figure out what you really want, claim your good. Figure out what you want for the Center for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley. You're it. You guys are it. And mostly live in gratitude. So again, we send much love to the families, to those that are in the spirit world now, to the first responders. Can you imagine being a first responder in those situations? Let us give thanks for the eternal flame and for the divine that lives and moves and literally has its being through each of us. I love you all so much. Thanks for being here.